When you practice active listening and you put it in place, what you're actually doing is encouraging feedback. And that's what this deep dive is all about. How to encourage feedback, and then for you, how to take that feedback seriously. When you think of workplace feedback, the most common type that likely comes to mind is a manager or leader sharing their feedback with his or her direct report. But it's just as important for employees to share their feedback with their managers or leadership team. According to Quantum Workforce, about half of employees don't regularly speak their mind at work, whether that's to colleagues or managers. If you think you're not receiving enough feedback from your employees, consider the following tips to encourage honest and open communication amongst your team. The first thing you want to do is support a safe environment for feedback. Without continuous feedback, your business will not improve over time, and your growth will just grow stagnant. To support a safe environment, have an open door policy where employees feel encouraged to share constructive feedback with their managers or leaders. Also, consider having employee surveys, asking all team members for key ways to improve the employee experience and candid feedback. This leads to our next topic, which is ask for specific feedback. When you're soliciting feedback from employees, you won't get much out of simply asking, "Do you have any feedback?" In more cases than not, employees won't share feedback, or they'll only share something positive. On the other hand, if you ask for more specific feedback, such as, "How can I improve?" or "How can I be a better manager?" you'll receive a more useful response that can help you grow as a leader. The next step is outline the next steps to take action. Once you actively listen to feedback, let your employees know that you've heard and understood their feedback, and let them know your plan to take action. For example, if an employee says that he or she hasn't received enough training to succeed in their role, outline how you're going to provide more training, such as setting aside a professional development budget, or providing an in-office mentor, or providing more one-on-one guidance. Or if a team member says your communication style isn't working with them, share how you'll change. Perhaps you'll make a commitment to meet in person more often than just sending emails. By encouraging feedback and acting upon it, you can help employees stay motivated and excited to do great work for your team. And continuous feedback leads to continuous improvement, which will help your company become much more productive and profitable. To further illustrate my point, here are some of the major reasons why feedback is essential for effective leadership today. Number one, feedback boosts employee engagement. Employee engagement is a major concern for today's leader. Sadly, many leaders don't know where or how to begin when it comes to enhancing engagement amongst their teams. So they end up spending valuable resources and times on initiatives that don't move the needle at all. And this leaves them right where they started, back at square one. But here's the secret. If you want to see engagement levels rise quickly and sustainably, creating a culture of communication and feedback will get you right where you want to be. The truth is, many employees desire feedback from their leaders. Contrary to popular belief, they're not afraid of feedback. Rather, they crave it and become disappointed when they don't receive it. When managers maintain consistent communication and provide valuable feedback on a regular basis, employee engagement rises. Giving feedback regularly also primes employees to be more communicative with leaders and other team members. This is how organizational cultures can change for the better. Number two, feedback makes employees more motivated. Keeping team members motivated is an ongoing struggle for some leaders, and I suspect that those leaders probably aren't using feedback effectively. Employees who are made to grind away day after day without receiving feedback can often feel alienated and unimportant. As a result, their motivation tends to disappear, which leads to reduced productivity, and overall it reduces their quality of work. Leaders who practice giving and receiving feedback on a regular basis notice that their employees are much more motivated. They understand the importance of their work, and they know that superiors care about what they're doing. Motivated employees are not only more productive, they're much more happier and engaged. Tip number three, feedback makes career development possible. Your job as a leader is to steer the ship, but it's just as important that you ensure that others are on the rise for positions of leadership. One of the most critical things you can do for your organization is develop the careers of the people that you lead. And that's just not possible without feedback. The people on your team have professional goals, aspirations, and desires of their own. Many of them intend to develop their careers in ways to groom them for management and larger responsibilities. This is what makes organizations stay successful over the course of years and even decades. However, none of this type of development is possible unless leaders like you know how to give and receive feedback. Tip number 4, feedback helps leaders get better. In terms of feedback, your primary role will be to provide it to others. Leaders also need to be open to receiving feedback if they truly want to create a culture of communication. Your people may not feel comfortable giving you feedback, which is why you need to make it a point to ask for it. Encouraging feedback helps your team members open up and voice their opinions and concerns about your leadership. It gives them the opportunity to convey what works for them and what doesn't work in terms of your leadership style. It's up to you to implement the feedback you receive in ways that show your people that you're listening. When you do this effectively, you show your team members that you are there for them and that your leadership is not about you. It's about making the organization run as smoothly and productively as possible. And what happens when you respond to feedback? Oh, that's right. You begin to show transparency. And that will be our next stop on our leadership communication train. So buckle up, and I'll see you in the transparency topic shortly.